the most successful people on the planet that are somewhat happy and well adjusted are able to bring these two forces together, are able to bring these two sides of themselves together. Neither of these principles dominate the masculine or the feminine. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Or if this is your first time here, glad you're here. Glad you're tuning in. Have you ever met a feminine man or a masculine woman? Do you have a softer side and also have a side that can work really hard? Today I'm going to show you how a human being encapsulates both feminine and masculine energy. And not only that, but all the things in this world and on the upper and lower planes of reality embody this principle of gender. And this is the last of the 7 Hermetic principles that I'm going to go through. But when I say planes of existence, this is the mental plane, we'll start at the bottom. The physical plane, body around here. Then we have the mind, and then we have the spiritual, the unseen. So this is out of the Kybalion that I've been reading, and I'll just read it out of here. The principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that there is gender manifested in everything. The masculine and feminine principles ever at work. On the physical plane, the principle manifests as sex. On the higher planes, it takes higher forms, but the principle is ever the same. No creation, physical, mental, or spiritual, is possible without this principle. An understanding of its laws will throw light on many a subject that has perplexed the minds of men and women. The principle of gender works ever in the direction of generation, regeneration, and creation. Everything and every person contains the two elements or principles, or this great principle within it, him or her. Every male thing has the female element also. Every female also contains the male principle. If you would understand the philosophy of mental and spiritual creation, generation, and regeneration, you must also understand and study this Hermetic principle. It contains the solution of many mysteries of life. So getting into this principle, this is not just talking about body parts. And I can see where this revolution of gender that we are in right now, I don't want to be defined by my gender. I can be masculine in this scene of life, and I can be more feminine in this scene of life. And when we just get down to the principle of it, balance in everything. There's times where masculinity, which is active, giving, and assertive, those are some qualities of masculine energy. And there's also benefits and purposes and reasons in different scenes of life where female would be more receptive and nurturing and creative. I would say that society stereotypes males to be all masculine and females to be all feminine, and that's where we get this inequality of I don't want to be labeled that and I don't want to be labeled this. It makes me think of like macho guys. I don't have any feelings. I run stuff, I don't have time for that kind of pansy stuff. That just personally, my personal experience is I just can't really be around that. I just see through the brokenness of that they've denied a part of themselves. It says, and we all know that we are both of these things at our core. The macho guy, he closed his heart off at some point and he needed to survive, and that's how he needs to stay masculine and active and assertive, and a lot of ego comes into that. On the flip side as well, like females can get in the same boat, uh masculine, active, and assertive. overly, overcompensating. This is an overcompensation. I think it can go on the other way as well with femininity. I don't want to appear assertive because I might get dominated, or, I don't want to put myself out there as assertive because there's other people more assertive than me and I'll get run over. Or I don't want to appear as weak. Maybe a female doesn't want to show her femininity because she doesn't want to appear weak. And the same with men. They don't want to show their receptiveness, their nurturing, their creativity, their open-heartedness, their empathy, because they don't want to appear weak. But this goes back to being okay with ourselves, and being whole and complete and healing and just being, natural in our beings, because there's a time for this and a time for that. This is the law of polarity I'm thinking of, or the pendulum. It swings back and forth between masculine and feminine, in life, in different situations, in different purposes. Well, if we're trying to achieve a goal, we need to be active and assertive. We need to be giving and in service, and on the same time, like, we need rest, and we need to love each other, and we need to care for each other, and we need to empathize and show compassion. So like that side of the female would be very beneficial as well there. Different parts of our being are also masculine and feminine. For instance, the left side of the brain, it is responsible for our language and analytics and reasoning faculties, and these are masculine qualities. And on the feminine side of our brain, our right side of our brain embodies the creativity and the nurturing and the intuition of our mind. I would say the most successful people on the planet that are somewhat happy and well adjusted are able to bring these two forces together. Neither of these principles dominate the masculine or the feminine. If you had all masculine, it would be very chaotic and dominating, like a bulldozer. I have to admit that I've been just fully in my masculine for extended periods of time in my life. And did I accomplish a lot? Yeah. And did I hurt a lot of relationships? Did I lose myself in it? Yeah, and I burned out as well, And the feminine, if I was always in my feminine, the feminine, I would just stagnate. I would just be resting. I would just be nurturing. And if I was too far in the feminine, there would just be no growth. There would be no advance. There would be a stagnation. So using these, and being cognizant of these in business and in your relationships and with yourself, these two qualities of humanity coming together create this unified wholeness. We're going to leave it at that. So that's the principle of gender, and that's the last of the Hermetic principles. I wish you well on your expansion of consciousness. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.